Hi there, I'm Toni Reece, and welcome to another episode of It's Personal. And today I am joined by Chef Tim Twiford and his beautiful wife, Chrissy. And we're going to talk about the power of giving back, the power of being inspired to volunteer within your community and what drives you to do so. So, welcome to this episode of It's Personal. I'm happy to be here with you guys. So let me start with you, Chrissy. You are very active in this community. You give back a lot. And what drives you to do that? You're a working mom. You've got this chef guy here as your husband.
So lucky, am I not?
So what drives you to do such activism in your community?
I think it's important in our community to give back in any way you can. And it's something that we instill in our children, I believe, the three of them, that sometimes it's not about money or time, or it's really important to make the community a better place. And every small act of kindness really goes a long way.
I like that small act of kindness statement because people don't realize how important that is. And we're so inspired when people are nice, right? It wants you to just be nice too.
Absolutely.
So speaking of nice, chef.
Not so nice.
I didn't say that. So Chef Tim, you have, as long as I've known you, you've always given back to the community.
Well,
why is that important to you?
Well, first off, I want to thank you, Toni, for having Chrissy and I here. And I want to thank BCTC.
Absolutely.
I think how I say it because I actually came to this school when I was in high school, but we just called it tech. So I put some letters in there.
Yeah.
So, but thank you very much for having us. And so to answer your question, I was really fortunate to start cooking at a very, very young age. And the group that I worked for, Tom Norman in particular, he was very big in the community. So he really encouraged that. And that's where I learned it at a pretty young age. I'm talking like 18 years old, which really isn't that young, but it was young for me to start.
And so how does that translate into what you're doing today? How do you give back today and keep that all going?
Well, for me, it's easy because everyone loves to eat. They have to eat. So I'm fortunate because I can impact many people through food. So I'm very blessed to be able to do what I do because I'm able to affect many people.
Gosh, isn't that amazing when you think about that you are giving back to the community, feeding a community, and I mean, that's just, I love that whole idea. Let's put the acts of kindness in there, Chrissy, though. Have you had shared experiences with your husband where you've either been part of something that he's done or something on your own, and the two of you have witnessed even, that inspired both of you to go, we got to keep doing this?
I think one of the most prevalent things, there are many that we could honestly sit here and talk about, but I think one of the most prevalent things that we kind of have done together is the idea of Chef Tim's table. It is his idea. I'm not trying to take that away from him, but one of my good friends, gosh, it's been so long now, she was a part of the American Cancer Society and running different fundraising events for that. And she would talk to me about these families that had a family member that was really going through a tough time, and they were not going to live very much longer. And I would share those experiences or those conversations with Tim, and just how disheartening that was. And it's just sad to hear those stories. And through that, he said, well, why don't we have them come in and we could do a Chef Tim's table. And this was before it even was developed, thought of. Why don't I feed them? I'll give them like a 6-course meal and make them have a great quality family dinner time together, even if it's just that last time. I want to give those families that memory. And he started doing that, and then Chef Tim's table came about, and he continued doing that, working with my friend once a month. I think he invited a family in that was going through a difficult time, and you did that for years.
Yeah.
And that's something that I think that started that Chef Tim's table giving back kind of thing that he did. And then it blew up from there, but that's just something that even when I look back on today, it's just, I think, the most meaningful and important thing, and it just touched everyone.
When we speak of shared things, I really love when we did the event. It was actually on her birthday at the John Paul II Center, where I cooked with about half dozen of the kids from the center, and Chrissy worked with kids in the front of the house, and they served the meals to a group of 10 people at
we did
John
a lot
Paul
of
II
dishwashing
Center.
too. Me and the kids did a lot of dishwashing.
Oh my gosh. I mean, it probably sucker punches you sometimes, doesn't it? When you're actually in the middle of an event and the reason why you're giving back, I would feel that that's like I have to hold on to this feeling because that's the driver.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So you're in the middle of a passion project here that the two of you are doing together. What in the world are you guys doing?
I don't know. We ask the same every Monday night after our practice. We say the same thing.
Well, I want to thank Christina and Ryan Redner and Gary Redner and Gary O'Brien for roping me into this.
And what is this that you're doing?
So now our biggest thing, I mean, we're doing many things, but our biggest thing right now until April 26th is we are participating with Dancing with the Reading Stars to raise money for the Yoakum Institute. We've been broached to do this for the past several years, and just we always have a lot going on, and we have 3 children, and we're busy. But this year we decided we wanted to do it, really because I work with the special needs population, high school students. I help them transition from high school to after high school. And that is what I'm passionate about. That's my daily job, but I don't consider it a job because I absolutely love what I do. And through talking with the Yoakum Institute, I was asking about different activities or different classes that they might have for that population, whether it's students, adults, it didn't matter. And they have one class that runs on a Friday afternoon, and it is lovely and it is wonderful. But there's a need. I truly see it. I believe that there is a need for more of that in the arts, whether it's fine arts, drama. I believe that our students with special needs in our community, school-age students is who I work with, so I see it with that group, but I'm sure it's across the board. They would benefit greatly from having more in the arts. And so I said, let's do this, and let's raise money, and let's have some of that money help to promote some of those things at the Yoakum Institute. Let's really get the ball rolling and get this moving. So that's how it's like become personal to us now. Everything we do now is hitting that mark so we can make this happen.
So how's it going?
It's pretty good so far.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Which part? The dancing?
Well, yeah, let me break that down a little bit. So, okay,
I'm thinking the fundraise.
yeah, so there's fundraising obviously involved. So
Yeah.
you have a bunch of events that are going to be happening.
Yeah.
You also, and I know, where can people go to find out about those events?
YoakumInstitute.com. Go to their website.
Okay.
And then there's a tab, events, and then it'll list all the events, not only for us, but also for the other participants,
Right.
the other contestants.
So do you guys go out dancing often? I mean, do you go, do you just
I
go
think
out
when
and
we got
pep the rug?
married,
Or?
when we got married, I think did we dance that night? I think maybe
think.
When you got
once.
married? How many years ago was that?
Yeah.
Don't ask me.
Okay. So, I mean, did you take dancing lessons? Has it been fun? Are you sore? How did you do this?
I like the dancing because we involve the kids. So we have a group of kids that we're going to be dancing with. So
For us, it was all about the kids. From the
Yeah.
get-go, day one, what are we going to do with the kids, for the kids, about the kids? It's not about us. And we
Yeah.
made that clear from
Yeah.
day one. It really is not. So
So
one
it's-
of my good friends is our choreographer, so we have a good time naturally, and we laugh a lot at Chef Tim, but it's all in fun, and
Yeah.
we really are. The dancing part has been a lot of fun.
it's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So what has been the biggest lesson for you guys as a married couple, giving back and putting out all of this time that you do to, volunteer your time and do this community work? What's been your biggest life lesson through this?
Well, for me, it's you know, I have a hard time saying no. It's always yes, yes, yes. And then you figure it out as you go along. So, you know, I think as long as you are able and you can do it, I think it's important that you do it as much and as often as you can. And sometimes that kind of puts a damper on, you know, the family life, because there's soccer, there's lacrosse, there's gymnastics, and, you know, then there's, you know, being in your own home. So, so it's been, you know, a little bit of a learning curve there for me.
How about you? What's been the biggest life lesson?
Honestly, I think with our children, because they're at the age now where we start to take them. Kevin has been, I think, a part of everything that we do. We've always kind of just taken him. But really about raising our children to be kind-hearted individuals and caring, and to truly do your best, and small acts of kindness goes a long way. And I think that's been really impactful on us when we have conversations with our kids about what we're doing. They do everything with us, so.
I cannot thank you enough, and also thank BCTC for having us here today. This is such a fancy setup for normally for what we do, so we really appreciate everybody's effort.
Yep.
But for me, to do this show, it's personal. I have the privilege and honor to speak to people like yourselves who do it from the heart and who create experiences for others in need and help a community. And as long as we don't take ourselves too seriously, and we remember what the end goal is, that it's not about us at the end of the day, you know, how cool is that? So thank you tremendously for what you are doing, and thank you for showing up for this episode of It's Personal.
Thank you, Toni.
Thank you, Toni.
Thank you.